innocent beauty of God. The word innocent means brand new. It means untarnished, pure. And it is the truth of all humanity. It is the truth of every beloved, the innocence. It is an inherent quality of love. It doesn't just refer to the opposition to the belief in sin, of being bad and wrong and tarnished and dark and all the other ways that it can be described of how the ego projects onto each beloved an identity that then becomes a battleground. The ego has its own devices for countering sense of being tarnished. It uses different methods that have no resemblance at all to the truth of love. But the methods that the ego uses of vanity and pride and being right and being defended has no resemblance to the truth of love. It's just more of the same defense system, just the other side of the coin. So every beloved that is walking on this earth, whether they are consciously aware and consciously being called to truth, every beloved is battling between the two sides of the coin. Beloveds who are unaware that there is another choice battle fervently, protecting, defending. And sometimes there can seem to be victory of some kind out of those two sides of the coin. A victory from feeling the darkness to being proud of something that's been accomplished personally and that is held as an accomplishment that counters in the world the belief of being tarnished. That's the ego's game, going back and forth between the two sides of the coin. Always with little victories. If it's seen in this way, it begins to be seen as the great ripoff, because there will never be anything that comes of it that will in any way touch the truth of your magnificence. It will never in any way come in light years of being in the same vicinity as love. It has no relationship to love at all. But it plays a great game. And many believe that they are very successful within that game. And many believe that they are very unsuccessful within the game. Both are sadly mistaken. Because there's absolutely nothing, no gain at all from any of it. But it's a drive. It can be a very strong drive, and it is an addiction. becomes an addiction, certainly because of the pride and the vanity and the being right and all of it that is used as a protection. It can be very seductive. So within the spiritual journey, there is a call to a spiritual practice, to a spiritual discipline that wants to recognize the pride or vanity or being right so that it can be released, so that it can be rejected for what it is, a ruse, an addiction, pain and suffering. Because that's what it always comes back to. Separation, the belief in separation, the belief in winning, or the fear of losing. So this calling to heal these beliefs, it's a calling filled with compassion because of the pain that this belief system causes. And it causes it in such a way that it's a scam. It's a scam of putting powerful, successful, in quotes, accomplishments on a pedestal and admiring those that have accomplished through the belief in pride and vanity and knowing. But once you begin to surrender this into the hands of God, you begin to see the pain that is running all these lives. And you begin to see the fear that runs all these lives. The fear of being found out. That they aren't powerful. That they aren't successful. Because what does that mean? And yet you can look at every beloved who walks in this world that with love in their heart, that are in service of love for everyone to remember. And you see within these beloveds that there is no self-aggrandizement, because every beloved who walks in the service of love has realized and has squeezed through that painful place and have realized everything that is of value is created by the divine. Does that mean that we have no service of creating? No, we have an obligation. We have a calling to create. But all the while that everything, whatever it is that's being created, whether it's how you think you do the dishes or that you have a math equation that is beyond comprehension for most, it doesn't matter what it is, it's God's. It belongs to God. And we are blessed to be the instruments of the power of the universe. And we are blessed to be free of the addiction of pride and vanity and knowing and its pain. So love always wants to bring healing to whatever stands in the way. But these elements are tenacious because there is such an agreement in the world that success, winning, proving has such a temporary satisfaction, but enough that it really pulls. So in this moment, opening the doors of truth, the willingness to surrender all the beliefs of personal achievement, personal identification with power, personal pride, all of it is just the pain and can be surrendered in this moment, returned, disowned, because those elements are not worthy of any beloved, just not worthy of the innocent light of God. Surrendering all that stands in the way of peace and harmony and joy, and the willingness to affirm there is only one presence here. It is the light of God. And it is within this presence that we live and move and breathe as one. The life force of God creates everything. Let it be the life force that is truly yours in divine union of love. The sanctuary is filled with love as the universe is all love. And the resting in that love, as you rest in God, you create with God, through God. Let every idea, every thought be a creation of God. Let every movement in every day be God's creation. And find that beautiful place that is so happy to give all the glory to God. Because when you give the glory to God for anything, your heart is filled with grace and blessings. And you feel it every time you give the glory to God, you feel it a little deeper, a little bit more joyful. The universe is all love, innocence, pure through and through. Allow this prayer to be your prayer. It's okay. It's too hot. It's the chemicals. No, it's okay. So allow this prayer to just take you and weave itself through your heart. Sister, brother, pay keen attention. Go very, very slow to not mistake your path. Sister, brother, keep your feet on the ground. Be careful with your pride. Be careful with your vanity. Sister, brother, go very, very slowly. Be careful with the traps of life in your path. Sister, brother, journey with attention, sincerity in the heart, to walk well on this earth. Paying keen attention, to go slowly. To go slowly is to acknowledge that if there is a quickness, it usually means I think I know something, because the speed ahead is running. But also be aware that when there is a speed of quickness, you can feel the fear that lies underneath it, the tension. And tension is one of those elements that is a communication. It's communicating that the mind says, I am in danger, there is a danger of some sort. And the tension says, here's your evidence. And tension becomes one of those elements that seems normal. What would I be without tension? But this is part of the journey of healing, of letting go, and really coming home to peace and harmony, where there is no tension, where there is no battle. In the deep surrender of love, this prayer is calling and saying, I want to learn to love. Lord, 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 my beloved Master, Lord, 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 my heart. Here I present myself with all of my heart. I ask my mother to guide me with all love, show me the way. I ask my mother with all my heart. My mother, my beloved mother, guide me. May every step I take be in your hand. And Divine Father, show me the path. Surround me with your strength so that I can walk and realize that I am never alone, never without. Here at your feet, I kneel with humility. Here at your feet, I ask for the charity of love so that I can serve and bring healing to everyone with humility in my heart, for everyone to heal in the name of love itself. Señor, 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 no más llamado. Señor, 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 meu coração, aqui me apresento para cumprir minha missão. Aqui me apresento de todo meu coração. Eu peço a minha mãe me guiar com vosso amor. Eu peço a minha mãe de todo meu coração. Oh mãe amada, guia esta missão. Cada passo que der esteja em vossa mão. Aqui em vossas pés me ajo com humildade. Aqui a vossos pés eu peço e caridade. A todos eu curar, com humildade meu coração. A todos eu curar, em nome da salvação. I kneel with humility. Why is kneeling with humility so freeing? It's this beautiful place that whether you are actually physically kneeling or your intention is to be kneeling, it's the refusal of pride. It's the refusal of the vanity of I'm beyond this. It's the devotion to what is real. So Hafiz has, of course, the perfect fiddling with the idiot and hopeful. Once when I was fussing with my hair in front of the looking glass, my master walked by and said, Hafiz, why are you always fiddling with the idiot? You should starve him a day or two now and then. Simply don't look in the mirror. Once a week I started abstaining from vanity, no mirror. Then I went to twice a week. Then 4 times. Then a little bird started to build a nest in my beard and let out melodious chants in the morning. It was then I realized I was probably onto something big and began walking around looking very hopeful. Why are you fiddling with the idiot? Well, this is a pretty strange way of affirming to the truth of love that looking in the mirror without the intention of seeing the beloved is probably something that could be given a ration every once in a while, just to double check. The mirror has a lot of learning within it. Some resist looking in the mirror because of the reflection that they have perceived to be something that is unwelcome and unloved. Others look in the mirror and are pretty impressed with their construction. But there is a way of looking in the mirror that sees what God created, that even through the mirror can see through the form and dip back into recognizing the spirit, even through the mirror. That you can look into the eyes that are shining back and see more deeply the essence of the beloved that is being reflected. Where there is no more words, there are no more words hidden and sneaking up that say, needs improvement, getting old, or just plain, I can't stand it. But make no mistake that the looking at the mirror and saying, I've done a pretty good job, is in the same boat of pain than the one who is looking and criticizing. Because the defense of believing that this outside identity is somehow privileged with some scale of beauty that the world approves of, when it has nothing to do with the beauty that is the essence of creation. It's not bad, it's just not what or who you are. But the most amazing thing happens with the body when love begins to truly live in the heart. Is that everyone becomes beautiful. Everyone becomes radiant. And the radiance really affirms the union of love. Because everyone is potentially that radiance. Even if they're hiding from it, the radiance is still there. And it can be seen with the recipe of love. But Hafiza's teacher, asking him to starve him a day or two, was opening to the healing that was in that moment presenting itself. It isn't a healing that should be embarrassing, but sometimes it's felt that way. Pride. Pride is a painful companion. In pride, You believe that you are separate by its essence. And this is why it's a calling to a spiritual practice. The spiritual practice of really learning to surrender and not hold anything personal of accomplishment separate from God. Now, when I say those words, to not hold on to anything, the ego doesn't like that at all. And the ego says, can't we have any fun? Can't we prove our accomplishments? It's very heady. But all you have to do is go through the struggle once of relinquishing pride, and you will see it for what it is, an addiction, a mistaken addiction. To relinquish what you think you made, or being attached to some accomplishment or some status within the world, or whatever it's attached to truly surrender it and not hold on to ownership. It stimulates the addiction, and it shows itself that what is really wanted with pride, with vanity, is to be better than, to be ahead of, to win, to prove. Because whatever the subject is, whatever the object is of the pride, if it's relinquished, it belongs to everybody. It's no longer a belonging of ownership, and it becomes an expression of union given to the whole. Where does pride start? It starts with the defense system in incarnation, in the beginning of incarnation. Every beloved is already carrying the belief of being separate from God. And there is a shame and a guilt that is inherent of that unconscious belief of being separate from God, which is not true, but it is the belief. And when you believe that you're separate from God, it becomes a constant trying to prove worth. But the reflection from what you see is that you're not seeing, because you can't see either the truth of love. So it becomes a defense system that gets built, and each one individually builds what they believe is the best defense. One on one side of the coin says, I'll never accomplish that. I'll never be good enough, so I'm not going to even give it anything, because then I won't fail as deeply. And on the other side of the coin is a beloved that is saying, I'm going to prove my worth. I'm going to prove to everybody that I was worth it. And I'm going to own my accomplishments. and my status. In the journey of love, in the journey of not loving, I used to say, I must have done something right because I didn't end up in prison. I didn't end up as a drug addict. So somewhere within was a belief that I had special way that I made it through when others didn't. There was nothing special that made it through compared to somebody else who didn't. I was as lost as anybody. That pride, that vanity of wanting to just have just that little bit of extra specialness that I made it through, that had to be relinquished too, because it was all made up. And whether you have one illusion that looks one way or another, it's all the same. And whether somebody makes it through or not, we don't know what that means either. Their journey will continue as this journey will continue. But the pride will just pull anywhere that it can. Pride, it is the strangest thing because you can have a tumultuous relationship with the beloveds who came in as your family, and you can still have pride in something that gives you some sense of being better than. It's a very secret place within that runs and that is afraid of being ordinary, of being one with humanity, with all of creation. But it's so distorted and it's so believed in that it runs. But this is where the spiritual journey says, no, there's another way. There's another way. Let the light be shined on this lie. Because you are so much beautiful innocence, beautiful purity, that there is nothing prideful that could touch the magnificence that you are. But at the same time, it's ordinary. There's nothing to prove, there's nothing to get, there's nothing to defend or have an attitude, an identity with the pride of accomplishment, success, how you know how to do things, and pride that you know how to do it best. What does that even mean? It's a hook, it's a trap of separation. Can you be the most magnificent offering of love? Absolutely, you are. It's just meeting it completely. Can you offer the charity of oneness? Can you step back and not be the best? Can you step back when someone else is maybe doing the same task, and they do it differently. And everything in you wants to say, I know how to do it better. And the spirit of love is whispering in your ear, you're going to miss the gift of this moment. Surrendering what you think you know and blessing the creation that someone else is bringing forth, even if it's washing dishes. Mowing the lawn, whatever, doesn't matter what the task is, it doesn't matter what. And how does pride heal? It heals with complete attention to what is the intention of everything. What is my intention? Am I here to prove that I can do it better than somebody else? Or am I here to join in love and praise God for the opportunity of offering creation? I used to laugh, at least not out loud, but I would be snickering at any beloved that in the past I would hear them saying, it's for the glory of God. And I would roll my eyes and go, please, for the glory of God. Well, it is for the glory of God. And anything else is a waste of time. Because the end result won't be what's anticipated. The end result is not going to be that you're going to feel that you have more worth. You're not going to realize that you really just wanted to come home. It's not going to bring you to home, and it's not going to connect you with anything other than a story that got made up about specialness. And it has no purpose other than to just spin around in pain and suffering of being defended. Because pride and vanity are part of the defense system. And it's not egregious, it's painful. It's not a sin, it's painful. Beloved that I was very familiar with reminded me that because he went through his 50th reunion, high school reunion, and there is a perfect opportunity to not bring any pride, to show up with everyone there almost, to whether it's a little bit or whether it's a lot, wanting to prove that they made it, that they were successful, that they were worth the effort. But imagine walking into the 50th reunion and having no record to show, no story to explain how successful you've been, how you made it. That you could go to that 50th reunion and you could just rest in the love of these beloveds who walked with you in your journey and want to see the truth of them, where when you were in high school you probably didn't even know what that would mean. But now you have the opportunity of seeing the beloved, the Christ, the light, the innocence. And when it comes around to you and they say, and what have you done with your life? I've just been learning. Not with a false humility of being spiritual, but really, it's just all been a learning. And I found my heart. And when you find your heart, you find everyone the truth of them. And you're no longer in pain of having to go to a reunion and try to prove yourself and be defended with anyone, because they are all your beloved. And you can laugh at the judgments that you had about them when you were in school with them, and that maybe you've even carried. And the projection of the belief that they were judging you. And all of the judgments are no longer acceptable. You don't want to waste any more time playing the game of proving your worth. There is so much of love to find, to remember. Why not begin with the vanity in the mirror, like Hafiz, and you may not find a bird building a nest in your beard, but there is a lack of tension that comes. Do you wonder where the tension is coming from? Well, here it is. So lift it up and look underneath the hood, because that's exactly where the tension is coming from. The determination to protect an identity and to prove your worth through your doing and through what you think you are, and your inheritance or your status in the world or whatever. I had many opportunities of lessons with pride, and I was grateful for every one of them. Some of them took a long time in the space of time, because the addiction was so prevalent. I couldn't imagine that I would surrender something that I had made, and that I felt like this one time that I had received this spiritual connection, and that had to be surrendered too, because I took it and made it about being personal. I was finally one of the spiritual seekers that had legitimacy. I was using it as an identity. And the creation had to be surrendered. And every time I surrendered it, I took it back. That went on for at least a year, taking it back. I was so addicted. It was like, give me my drug. Give me my drug. I want it. And then when I would think that I was surrendered, then it would show up again. And the guidance would always hit it just right so that I couldn't make it up. And the final one was, if someone else announced that they had made this, that they created this with spiritually, and they took ownership of it, and could I be happy? Could I be just happy and content that the gift was being offered to everyone and it had nothing to do with me? And the beauty of that healing was that I had no idea how freeing it was to not own the identity of accomplishment. That to be in the circle of love was, for lack of a better term, the only accomplishment. It was the only reality. And what was also missing is, you wonder about the tension. It isn't just tension. It's gloom. It's worry. It's a stinginess that runs, that is painful, truly painful. And it does nothing, because the accomplishment means nothing. Within the world, it's just the illusion. The offering of love and the creation of being the instrument of God is filled with love. It's filled with gratitude. It's filled with blessings, and it's filled with grace. And you are so blessed to be in that creation with God, because it's your natural state, because it's harmony, and it's joyous. And all you have to do is remember how much tension it takes to have pride and to be right. The tension is really unbearable. How it's held and accepted is insane, because when you don't have the tension anymore, you realize how unbearable the tension is. And it isn't God's will. It isn't your natural state. It's been developed as a defense and a worry that runs with the ownership of achievement and the belief that there is something to really protect. Imagine being really good at putting a chair together. And you start to fantasize. I bet you I can put that chair together faster than anybody. And I want people to notice that I can put this chair together really fast, and how well I do it, and how efficient I am. And then somebody shows up that does it much faster. My show is gone. My accomplishment has been thwarted. And now I'm embarrassed because I held myself as the top dog, and Somebody else did the chair. And that embarrassment is because pride has to have a counter that keeps it in place. And the fear of being found out that you are not the imagery that's looking in the mirror. That's the tension too. And that tension is painful. I am nobody. I don't know anything. I'm nobody. I have never accomplished anything. I have been stumbling in this world, mimicking as many as possible, taking on as many identities as possible that I thought were acceptable, and called them my own. To embrace being nobody is essential. Not because you're diminished, but because everything that you could choose from the can of stuff, everything that's here to choose from is just so non-essential and non-true. And the truth of you is so incredibly magnificent because you are the light of God. But the light of God is in union and has nothing to prove. Can't. How can perfection prove anything? Who are you going to prove it against when everybody is as perfect as you are? And there is no you and there is no them. And what is there to gain except through love? There isn't anything else. I brought a prayer that it's not really a prayer, it's really another one of Hafiza's teachers' teachings. Spare the world your good ideas. Spare the world your ideas of good until you know that all is perfect. My teacher once said, spare the world your ideas of what is right until you know that all is holy. Spare the world your ideas. What would it be like for a child to be told to spare the world your good ideas because you are perfect? And meet that perfection and know that everything in the world is perfectly harmonious because you are the light of God. But spare the world your good ideas. This was really the same teaching that my teacher said often, and he said, drop it. Spare the world your good ideas. Drop it. Drop whatever you're thinking. It's not helping you. Inspiration and guidance has a particular purpose. It has many, many, many purposes, but one particular purpose is that when you listen to guidance, you are relinquishing your knowing. You're saying, I'm following the guidance of love. I don't know how to lead. I'm following. And if I'm following the guidance of love, spare me my ideas of what I want to tell others that I know. And spare me the pain of when I think I know something that has a tension that goes along with it, and I have to express what I know. Spare me. All the love that is yours and that you are. There isn't any pride, there isn't any vanity, there isn't any knowing, and any of it. Your love, the love that you are, is so pure. You are so perfect. And when you touch the heart within, and you let it open and burst open, it's like a spa day. Relaxed, surrendered. The war is over. And to realize that you can live there in that perfect, harmonious, internal life with God. A friend with Him. And that no one anywhere in this world, no one is your enemy. No one is someone to compete with. No one has more while you have less. This is also the healing of the belief of scarcity. Only love. You're not successful by your pocketbook, by your bank statement. You're not successful by your education, by your world travels, by who you know, by what you know. And that doesn't mean that you can't use the knowledge that can serve others in whatever form that it comes in, but it is God's. Even the knowledge that of your learning is God's. It's the spirit of love that joined with you and continues to join with you. And imagine that you have that joy within you, the tension's gone, and you're recognizing it's the glory of God. Because the glory of God is here. The glory of God is all that you are. And all the battle can drop away. And there is such a happiness in I'm nobody. There is nobody to pin anything on. It's all that. Spare the world your good ideas. Spare the world your ideas of good until you know all is perfect. Spare the world your ideas of what is right until you know that all is holy. Let me not be your critic, Lord, and judge against you. Let me not distort your creation into a sickly form. I ask you to bless my sight today. Today I choose to see a world I have forgiven, in which I see the light of Christ in everyone. I ask for nothing but the truth. Today, I will not engage in dreams of the ego. Today, I give it to you. One heart, one life, one love. No tension, no accomplishments.